Congressional Republicans want to know why the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS agents, targeted conservative groups for special scrutiny and who knew about that. They are promising to investigate the scandal. Heads may roll at the agency. Well, Chief Washington correspondent Peter Cook is on the Hill with one of the lawmakers leading the charge, House Oversight Committee Chairman Darrell Issa. Peter?
Betty, thanks very much. I am joined here by Chairman Issa. Thank you for the time. And let me ask you first of all off the top. The IRS suggests this was lower-level employees conducting this activity. It was inappropriate, but it didn't rise above that. Do you not buy that?
Not at all. First of all, we asked the IG to investigate this approximately a year ago. During that entire time, Commissioner and others would have been aware there was an investigation, the allegation, but they continued to deny the existence. At the point that they denied that which had gone on, they became part of the cover-up.
Do you believe this went to the top levels of the IRS? Do you believe it went beyond the IRS? Are you suggesting in any way that the Obama administration directed this itself?
This is one of those things that concerns all Americans. Today, it's Patriot and Tea Party as key words. Tomorrow, it could be progressive or move on. The fact is, if this goes on this president's watch, his serves at the pleasure of the president appointee, then they take responsibility. But more importantly, getting to the bottom of it, making sure there are not just rules, but checks, real safeguards to keep this from happening at the low level, the medium level, or at the top is essential for the American people.
Would you be just as upset if they had put a filter in there for progressives, for more liberal-sounding names?
Oh, absolutely. Remember, some of the history of abusing presidential power. Richard Nixon was, and one of his articles of impeachment was the IRS. Let's remember Martin Luther King was the subject of unfair scrutiny. We have a history of this happening on one side or the other. The point is, each time it happens, there has to be swift action. Heads have to very appropriately roll if you knew about it, participated in it, or failed to stop it. And then we have to institute changes to make it very clear it can't happen again. I expect the Attorney General to be involved in this, and I expect the IG to give us a full public report. And then I expect the committees of jurisdiction, particularly Ways and Means, to figure out how they can institute changes, which might even be further removing political access to the IRS.
And you called for the original Inspector General's report here. It's due later on this week. Have you actually read the conclusions? Do they, in fact, conclude that top levels of the IRS knew what was going on here?
We'll see it when we see it. I know approximately what's in it. I knew what was approximately in it when we made the allegations about a year ago. This is one of those things where it's been, in a sense, an open secret, but you don't accuse the IRS until you've had a nonpartisan, deep look. That's what the IG has done. That's why the IGs, in fact, exist within government, is to find this kind of waste and fraud and abuse of power. And in this case, abuse of power is clearly what we have.
Well, let's talk about exactly what we have here, because it is the job of the IRS to scrutinize 501c4s, these nonprofit groups, to see if they do meet the letter of the law to be tax exempt. Weren't these IRS employees doing their job?
Not at all. You do your job by raising the level of scrutiny for all applications or lowering it for all applications. You do your job by doing random for all applications. You can't justify doing your job based on keywords like Tea Party that very clearly targeted one group leading up to an election that, in fact, they wanted to say they suspected might be trying to affect the outcome of an election. There are groups on the left, backed by and controlled by President Obama and his friends, who were equally actively doing, on their side, the same kind of outreach.
If they'd included those groups here, then this would be okay?
If they had looked for a broad spectrum of key words, if it had been very well understood that they were looking for all of them, you'd say yes, but here's the problem even then. When you put in these key words, if it doesn't pick up every group, then by definition, aren't you picking what you call a progressive? You know, you understand, the left may want to get rid of their centrist. The right may want to get rid of their centrist. It's not just the very left and the right. These kinds of keywords, which clearly somebody could have scrutinized, are very different than if you look for key activities. 501c3s and C4s have activities, and going after what they actually do is a great way to protect yourself.
Doug Shulman was the IRS commissioner at the time. He was originally a Bush appointee. He served into the Obama administration as well. Are you questioning whether Doug Shulman directed this himself?
Peter, most often when we get into this, what we find is people with ideology that are career who were co-opted directly or indirectly by the party in power. And I think that's where we leave it until proven otherwise, is that it's very, very likely that the primary culprits are in fact going to be career people. Here's the problem, Peter. For more than a year, we've continued to hear this wasn't happening. Well, in fact, it was well known and brief since 2011 that there was a problem.
All right. Chairman Issa, appreciate your time.
Thank you,
I know hearings are planned not only in the House Oversight Committee, Betty, but also House Ways and Means on this topic as well.
Thank you, Peter.